Good morning and happy Friday. It is my honor and privilege as Vice Mayor of the City of Wichita to welcome Bryan Frye. Thank you very much, Councilmember Frye, for being here with me today.
Absolutely. I always look forward to doing council chat, and today I get the honor of doing it with the Vice Mayor.
Well, thank you. I'm Vice Mayor and also serve as the City Council member for District 2, so kind of wearing two hats for a year.
Yeah.
We had a busy week this week.
Yeah, actually, pretty good size agenda on Tuesday, and then some nice announcements this week with some awards for the ARPA grants. Today, you and I were both at WSU Tech for the registered nurse program that's going. And then Senator Moran was in town with Airbus, so it's been a busy week.
It has been, and I remember I did council chat last week with Councilmember Johnson, and I was reflecting this morning at the Senator Moran event how much different our world is this week compared to last week because of the tornado in Andover.
Oh, absolutely.
And I had an opportunity, as I know you did as well, to visit with some of the city council and city manager of Andover. I went to lunch with one of the city council members yesterday, and just to try and give them some peace and maybe some solace and an opportunity just to kind of wind down a little bit. But I couldn't be more impressed with Andover's response, not only as in their leadership and council and staff, but also the community overall. Yeah,
absolutely. We were very lucky that it was as minor as it was. Certainly Andover's been through a much worse tornado situation, but we were very blessed that it wasn't more dangerous and more deadly. Then to see the response from the community, from our electeds. Senator Moran was there, representatives from Senator Marshall's office was there, Congressman Estes, and then obviously area, Sedgwick County delegation was there, our staff, and then just the mutual aid from all over the region to help with the cleanup and services that were needed. So just a great response. This is a way of life in Kansas. It's part of our annual springtime, and we got to deal with it. Unfortunately, because people have experienced it and they've seen firsthand what's needed and what's necessary, people respond, and it's neighbor helping neighbor. So it's good. It really makes you feel good when you see something like that.
Yeah. And hopefully a good reminder for people too to be weather aware. I know that September is National Preparedness Month, but I did take a little bit of pause last weekend to make sure that in my safe room at my home that we have batteries and flashlights and some bottled water and shoes, because sometimes you run to your safe room barefoot, and so hopefully everybody's kind of taking the opportunity, because unfortunately, like you said, severe weather will be for the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely. It can go through at least June, July. For sure.
And then we start over in the fall.
Yeah, yep.
So looking back, but now looking forward, we have a very busy week coming up next week. As always, we start our meetings with the invocation, and then we continue into the meeting and have usually proclamations, and we have opportunities for people to come on our public agenda, and then we have the Board of Bids. So kind of our normal way that we start our meetings every week. Yeah,
that usually takes us 10, 15 minutes, and then we get into the meat of the agenda. This week we have our annual approval of specials, and this is for everything from paving projects to sewer mains, sewer projects, wastewater, etc. And these are for those infrastructure projects that are then put on specials for those neighborhoods that are getting these improvements. And so it's a unique thing that Wichita does. Most cities don't do it this way. You pay for all those improvements as part of your lot cost when you buy that lot. The way Wichita does it is, we put it on a specials, and so you pay for it over 15 years and in some cases 20 years. It makes that more affordable for our home builders and our home purchasers, but it is a unique way to do it. And so, but we have to approve that process. And so I think there's 30 different paving projects, 29 different water projects, and so it's one of those crucial base things that we do as a city council. So
absolutely. I remember when we moved here, it'll be 20 years ago this fall, and we were talking with a developer where we're going to build our home, and he said, now let's talk about specials. And we're like, oh, specials. And then we found out pretty quickly what specials were.
Well, and a special pays for that paved road in front of your house. And that's the way this community has done it forever. And if you want that paved road for your development, you can petition to get it done, and then those specials will get put back on your lot. You have to get your neighbors to agree to it, but that's the process that we have. And it works well for our community. It's worked this way forever. But people new to the community, they're not used to it. And so it's like, okay, interesting. We do have a couple of neighborhoods that have not done that, but they've been planned developments that way. And so it's just a different take. So
yeah, thanks for explaining it so well. One of the other things that we'll be looking at is actually in my district, and it's the overnaming of East Rock Hill Lane, and it will be potentially, depending on the vote, named the Saul Kahn Lane. Saul Kahn served as a city commissioner in 1871. I asked someone if that was a typo, but it's not. It was in 1871, and became chairman of the commission the following year. And he was the first, he served for 5 months and was the first Jewish mayor for the city of Wichita. And the Diversity, Inclusion, and Civil Rights Advisory Board recommended this action as the naming committee for this change to be made. So we'll be looking at this on Tuesday.
So it's really interesting. I'm curious about how at that time, the city was founded in 1870. So they had a city commission, a chairman, and a mayor. Seems like a lot of levels of government for 1870, back when it was the Wild West, and probably the sheriff was the one that really had the most power in the town.
Yeah.
But then to have a city commission, a chairman, and a mayor, pretty interesting.
Yeah,
we'll have to dive into that.
A fellow look at that.
Yeah.
But the location of the street is also meaningful because it encircles the Jewish Community Center. So
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to hearing more. I know that one of our management fellows, really took the lead and did a lot of the research, and she said she'll be providing us with some information
Yeah.
to look at over the weekend. So excited to learn more.
Yeah, fantastic. I love Wichita history and learning more about our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of our community, if we're in May, then we're probably talking about River Festival, which is coming up June 3rd through the 11th, which is going to be great because this will be the first full-on festival since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's the 50th anniversary
Oh, that's
of
right.
Wichita festivals.
Yes.
So looking very much towards that. So a couple things that we have to do as a council, we have to approve the gating of A. Price Woodard Park. So that they can do activities and have their vendors and their uses in that park. And then also we approve our contribution, because the city makes a contribution for sponsorship of it. And then there's road closures and things like that we want to make sure, try to do this all at once. So that way we're not coming back to the council every week with we got to do this, we got to do this. Just do a big one piece. So, but June 3rd is the parade. I'm looking forward to my Wagon Master activities that we do a lot of stuff for that. So that's exciting. Exploration Place has a new event, a drone show.
Like 400 drones.
That's going to be very cool.
Interesting.
First of its kind in Wichita, and I think maybe even the country.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting and a lot of fun, but just getting out and seeing people and enjoying our community, and hopefully the weather cooperates and we get past all this cold, wet weather and we get some nice sunny days. But I'm really looking forward to festival this year.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that June is almost here, but I'm excited for it. So what do you think I'm most excited about for Riverfest?
The Willie Nelson concert?
I actually am very excited about that, and we plan to purchase tickets. What do you think but I am the most excited about?
A funnel cake?
No, I was going to say the corn.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I should have guessed food to begin with.
Food to begin with,
Yeah.
So we were going to have to, I remember a couple years ago, my first year in council, we all went over as council and mayor and enjoyed one of the first days at lunch
Mhm.
together,
Mhm.
and it was fantastic. So maybe we can plan something like that or grab some staff and go.
Yep.
But, it's food that you only get once a year. So
Sure.
It's fun to go and give it a try. And I don't worry about the calories during Riverfest. I just
They don't count.
Because I don't get
That's
it.
part of the motion that we'll
Yeah.
do on Tuesday. Calories don't
There
count
you
during
go.
Riverfest.
So I may just have corn and funnel cake for the entire Riverfest.
That's okay. That's sustainable.
So do you have, speaking of fun.
So what do you think my favorite is during festival?
I'm so sorry. I should have asked you that. I am going to guess something with the Wagon Masters.
Yeah. Several years ago, we started the river tours, where we created a water version of the Wind Wagon, and we call it the Water Wagon.
Okay.
And we give guided tours down the Arkansas River from Douglas Street Bridge to the Keeper and back. It's a free ride. It takes about 20 minutes. We tell a story. It's pretty entertaining, and it's just a lot of fun.
So is it first come, first serve? So if
Yep.
I want to do this, how do I do it?
Yeah,
show
you just
up?
you got to have a river button, River Festival button.
Okay.
And we usually have a waiting list. People are standing in line, and we give everybody life jackets, and we make sure they get checked out, give them a safety briefing.
Okay.
And we take it pretty serious because we want people to feel safe and comfortable.
Absolutely.
And then we get them on the boat and we take them down, and it's pretty cool. If you've not seen the river from that vantage point, it's unique.
I have lived here almost 20 years, and I have not done that. I have not been on the river, so I'm going to do it this year.
Yep. So
Can I bring my funnel cake?
yes, but you have to share with everybody on the boat.
Okay.
And there's like 30, so you might need to bring a couple.
Right. So as we're talking about fun things, any fun plans for the weekend?
Well, it's Mother's Day,
That's
so
true.
I'll be cooking some salmon for my mom and the rest of the family, of course. Probably yard work. Got to get caught up on that this rain. But hopefully the weather cooperates. I can just spend some time outside.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nice weekend. I think it's supposed to be almost 90 on Sunday.
Oh, good.
It's going to warm up significantly compared
Yep.
to the 50s we had yesterday.
Yep.
So I don't have too much fun planned, which is kind of good.
Sometimes you just need that downtime.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
I would really like to get my flower pots planted.
Oh.
And then one thing I do every year, too, in our patio, I'm not a gardener. We live in a patio home, but I do plant herbs, and I use them all summer and all fall when I prepare meals and use them in just different things.
Cool.
So I'm excited about
I might have
that.
to grab some from some salmon that I cook.
Absolutely.
Some fresh herbs, would that be good?
I usually have way too much basil, and so I make pesto and I freeze it.
Oh.
So I'll have to maybe share some of that too.
Wow.
Another thing I was thinking about when I was coming to work today and I saw a school bus, school's almost out.
Yeah. Gosh, that's here already. My son will be finishing his sophomore year, so I know he's looking forward to working more this summer because he's enjoying that paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
He needs it to fill up his gas can.
Yeah, I need it. I'll take some of his cash. So
All right.
I don't think we have anything else to discuss. We kind of hit it all,
I
which
think
is
so.
great.
It should be a nice council meeting.
Yeah.
Hopefully get
One thing we didn't mention, and I'm sorry that's the end of the council chat, but one of the things we are going to do is extend the contract term of Assistant City Manager Kathy Sexton.
That's true. Thank you. for reminding me.
She has been a rock star in the short time that she's been with us. I wish we could keep her full time, but she made a short-term commitment to us, and she's done a fabulous job, and we're going to keep her at least until July 21st, and maybe we can continue to twist her arm between now and then, but that's part of our agenda, and just wanted to thank her for all the hard work and stuff that she's brought incredible value to us.
Thank you for mentioning that. When I used to work at the Sedgwick County, and I worked at the Sedgwick County Health Department, and I was one of the assistant directors, and so my boss was the director of the health department, and Kathy Sexton was the assistant city manager, and she was my boss's
Mhm.
boss. So I can tell you, I learned significant life and professional lessons from Kathy that I still carry with
Oh,
me
yeah.
to this day. And that was many, many years ago
Yeah.
that I was there. She was such an influence on me, and an influence not only as a Sedgwick County employee, which I very much enjoyed my tenure there, but then also as a woman and a woman
Mhm.
leader. So there are times for the past years that I reflect back and remember a lesson that Kathy taught me. So we've
Yep.
been lucky to have her.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. Well, that's it for this edition of Council Chat. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe and follow on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Have a great and safe week.